Up 1-0. They are looking really strong right now. They had a really nice draft, kind of in mixed composition, a grab bag of everything, and they were able to really do some good work. I mean, we got to see some Blink Dagger Tiny action. We got to see just three powerful heroes right-clicking away with the Battle Trance, the Night Stalker, the Troll himself, and of course the Tiny. So I really like that idea. I think that was really strong. And Can't Say Whips, they're going to ban it out very early this time, not wanting to deal with any of that nonsense. But Sniper is still in the pool. We'll see if he's as prioritized as he is in some other regions. I haven't been casting that much SEA Dota recently, so I've been seeing the picks, but I haven't seen the pick orders, so not sure if we're seeing like that many Sniper bans or anything. And like, there's a couple of metas like European and North American where if you don't ban out the Sniper, he has picked up phase 1, and that just turns into... I mean, sometimes the games are really good, and the Sniper gets involved, but the turtle games, they last so long. It's fun to theorycraft, but only to a certain point. Bum, bum, bum. Alrighty, so gonna see the Phoenix opener coming in from Can't Say Whips. That'll be pretty interesting to see what they can accomplish with that. Obviously, we saw what 2D could do on an off-lane Sand King that actually took farm priority. He was actually pretty much the most farmed hero for the early stage of the game. I mean, the Storm Spirit had a really rough time, the Lycan had a really rough time, so the Phoenix here, it is going to be a pick that can do a lot of stuff in that context. Oh, they pick up the Tinker too. They pick up the Tinker too. Oh, that's going to be fun. Can't Say Whips, and just in general, like Aussie Dota has had some really good Tinker play. 2D's had some great Tinker play. Like, I have some really high expectations for what this hero can do in these guys' hands. So we'll have to see. But Phoenix is going to be probably the offlane, most likely Tinker mid. It's hard to say in this metagame as it's shifted a lot, but I think, although their intentions are to get a lot of farm of the Phoenix, get an early hand of Midas on him, they might be thwarted here if the Disruptor plays the game right. Because, essentially, if you are a Disruptor with Glimpse available and you see that Icarus dive coming out, you just spam it on him, you bring him back from whence he came, and you kill him. And he has absolutely nothing to offer. In fact, he just lost a good chunk of his health. It's a 15% health cost just to cast that spell. So Disruptor, a great counter to Phoenix, either via the Silence, which is very powerful against him, or the Glimpse and Kinetic Field. You can just make it so easy to bring that hero down on the offlane that although their intention is to dominate that position, you've got a hero with 950 attack range that is just peep-shotting your Phoenix Egg. You've got the Disruptor, which is going to make his laning experience miserable. Like, as great as the Tinker may be, with his lasers and his rockets, his blind effects, his ability to farm quickly and build up items to rearm, it's just, I feel like this Tinker has to do some amazing work. The Phoenix, although a great hero in general, is going to be countered out pretty hard. And we do see Team Malaysia is also going to be going for the Zeus here, which I'm going to be interested in. Exactly what is that expected to accomplish? Obviously, we saw the Zeus Storm duo open in the Phase 1 opener for CSW, but not only did that not work out, but, I mean, the Zeus in particular was just an offlaner that supported the Sand King. So I feel like we're going to see the Zeus in a different light here. We might see Ketchagamba take him in mid lane. He used to play Zeus quite a bit on the mid, and that was back in Team Invasion, of course, but still. Alright, so we've got 3 picks underway for Team Malaysia. A lot of lightning on their side. Maybe Sniper picks up a Maelstrom and just makes it a lightning trinity. But the bans are pretty interesting in my mind. Banning out the Undying, banning out the Lycan. The Undying in my mind is to make it so that they don't have to commit their auto attacks to too many different things. The idea here is if you drop a Tombstone with the Supernova, then you have either the zombies building up a ton or the Phoenix Egg about to crack, and that's not something that you want to be up against, where you have to choose between those two things. Tusk is also notorious for this with his Frozen Sigil. So if you had like an Undying Phoenix Tusk lineup, and then you threw in, I don't know, the Gyrocopter's Homing Missile and Juggernaut's Healing Gourd, then you have like 5 things to attack that are all very impactful, and you're like, focus this, focus that. It's frustrating. So on a smaller scale, the Phoenix Undying duo is a little bit scary, and Sniper he wants to right-click heroes for the most part. The Egg when he has to, but otherwise, definitely go for the heroes. So they get another ranged support, and that makes a lot of sense, and they are also banning out that Lycan just because of how effective he can be in certain settings. Obviously, Chains did his best that last game, but yeah, they just don't want to be pushed against. They want to have kind of the tempo in their hands. Pretty much whenever they drop Mass Serpent Wards, they want to take that tower. Cooldown to cooldown. They'll take a tower every 120 seconds, or whenever the Shadow Shaman has mana, and they won't, with the Lycan off the table, they won't really have to worry about a reactive split push. That's the idea anyways. We'll see if it works out. Anywho, Spiritbreaker comes out for Can't Say Whips, and I actually am curious if CSW have been watching a little bit of CIS Dota, because Phoenix Spiritbreaker is a very common offlane for a couple of Russian teams. Moscow 5 runs it pretty much every game they can draft it. It's just the Tron special there, but yeah, I mean, Spiritbreaker as Phoenix essentially just makes it so that you can get bullied really hard, and any a greedy carry that you pick up is going to be punished heavily. These are tanky heroes that can trade hits very effectively, and it just makes it really difficult, especially for like a Shadow Shaman Disruptor. Like, instead of going 3v1 and just picking off Phoenix whenever he's out of position, you have a Spiritbreaker in your face that's causing problems. And now we see the Abaddon come through. One of my favorite heroes in Dota 2. We definitely don't see him enough, but what in the world is an Abaddon going to do this game, is my mind. Like an Omni Knight. I could see an Omni Knight doing well, with like the ability to put Repel in the Spiritbreaker or the Tinker, and allow them to do things. But an Abaddon? You're going to be able to break Shackles, you're going to be able to break Hex, you're going to be able to keep people alive against Zeus.
5 seconds remaining.
Other than that, I really don't have a damnedest clue what in the world the Abaddon's going to accomplish here. I really love Abaddon, but I feel like his strength is in a completely different lineup than what we see here. Unless they're tower diving constantly, which they very well might be. I really don't know. But yeah, I think like you constantly just put the shield on Spiritbreaker and you say, hey, you, go ham. But as soon as you get Glimpse back, then I feel you lose a lot of potency there. Like picking up Disruptor or Spiritbreaker into Disruptor is already pretty risky because of the Glimpse factor. But and that's why I said Repel, because like you pick up an Omni Knight, you repel that Spiritbreaker, he sticks to your target. He avoids all of Zeus's damage, Shadow Shaman's damage, and he doesn't get glimpsed. But you put an Ophotic Shield on Spiritbreaker, and he might do an extra 140 damage or so, but the Spiritbreaker will be sent back, and then it won't matter. So, I mean, maybe they have the idea that if you're glimpsing back BOTing Tinker and you're glimpsing back the Spiritbreaker as well, then you have to choose between 2 targets to send back, but generally speaking, I don't think that's the right strategy. I feel like if the glimpse play is used appropriately, that these heroes are going to be countered pretty well. So, Mr. Tinker, Mr. Spiritbreaker. Final pickup coming in from Team Malaysia. It looks like they're going to be running the Spectre here. So KYXY Spectre, he's definitely played this hero quite a bit. There's a lot of potential with this just to make things work, but it does mean that their offlane is a little bit awkward. Do they go for an aggro try? Do they put a solo in a certain lane and they expect CSW to go aggressive? I don't know. It's a little weird. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what the top lane is going to look like for Team Malaysia. And the final pickup for CSW, another nuker, not a carry. But Wedding Crasher's picking up a Queen of Pain. So very similar to the Storm Spirit we saw last game, but with some added benefits of having his spells go through BKBs, which is what I feel like the power curve shifted between CSW and Team Malaysia in the game 1, is when the BKBs came online, for the Troll, for the Tiny, for the Night Stalker. They were just able to render that Storm useless and frequently just bash him down. But Queen of Pain, she doesn't fall off as hard because her ultimate still pierces through. So you get Spiritbreaker bashing and Nether striking down targets that are in BKB. You get the Queen of Pain to use their Sonic Wave. That's going to actually allow you to deal with like a sniper that just goes for a second item Black King bar. And of course you can clear out a lot of extra meat shields with the Queen of Pain's AoE combo. Like Spectre sends out a bunch of Haunt Illusions. In the right position you can Sonic Wave half of those out and screen the rest, and yeah, it should be fine to kind of break down that chain of initiation. But either way, I still think CSW are in a position where the game has to end within 35-40 minutes, and unless the Tinker chains, he plays like the best game of Tinker of all time, Team Malaysia just have a really tough draft to go up against. And we do have a quick pause coming through. So let's go ahead and just introduce the side of CSW. I don't think I gave them the full introductions in Game 1, so happy to give them their spotlight here. Can't Say Whips. We've got 2D on the Abaddon. We've got 343 or Godot on your Phoenix. Wedding Crasher on the Queen of Pain. Yomu Kampaku is going to be your Spirit Breaker, and then Chains will be running on the Tinker. So, beyond that, we've got on the side of Team Malaysia, We've got Ohio on the Zeus. So offlane Zeus or safe lane Zeus with an aggro. I think it is just going to be an offlane Zeus though. Ketchik Imba going to be running on this very well equipped sniper. I mean, I had not seen the Cyclopean helm of the Keen Machine, but since it was dedicated to him, here's your Keen Machine. If you play MMR, don't point me, you'll be cursed, lose all. I don't know. Okay, so we've got Mega Man Disruptor, played by Johnny, KOXY. It's going to be running that Spectre with the horns. And Mushi will finally be picking up his Shadow Shaman. Yes, that's right, guys. Mushi's playing support these days, and he is killing it. He is doing a really good job with these relatively squishy, but very powerful utility heroes. And they're good to go. Keen Machine. Look at that. That's like a battle stance. Like, that's a splash screen right there. Team Malaysia enters the battle. But, you know, let's get this game underway. We've got a couple clarities up for Ohio. Looks like he wants an early bottle, maybe. Or maybe he's just going to mess around with his items a lot. But either way, they're going to make their move up top, get some wards down, or at least this one sentry ward down to block a camp. And in the meantime, 2 go bottom. So early movement, pretty much just kind of spreading the map. Going to look for both runes. Probably only get one of them. But I think with these 3 moving out into the jungle, they should be able to actually get a good block onto the pole camp up top. Because as you can see, they've got Arc Lightning and they've got Shrapnel. And those 2 together in the level 1 clashes, even if you're not really confident in your position, should allow you to force your enemy back, take control of a certain position, and get those wards down. But it is going to be scouted out. Moving forward immediately, they see the Zeus, they see his Obs ward, and they're not going to give him an opportunity to make full use of it. So actually, here's the play. This is interesting. Ohio had an Observer ward. Johnny gave it. He was given to him by Johnny or Ohio, and then essentially Ohio moves forward, doesn't place the ward, and then gives it back to Johnny. So the ward magically disappears. It's a kind of magic trick, and then they think, oh well, where do we have to deward? Do we have to deward like kind of? Did he place it in this kind of area? Did we not see it when he was in this spot? Like, what are we actually dealing with in terms of reading vision? And they probably don't know that this ward is going to be sitting here for the rest of the 7-minute duration. Now going in for the bounty rune up top. It's going to be a clash on both sides, but we'll lock at top. The Shrapnel definitely going to be causing Spirit Breaker some difficulty, and yeah, that's a bounty rune in their favor. Down bottom, Wedding Crasher dueling out with KYXY. He'll blink out, they'll man down, and that is going to give bounty runes ×2 to Teams Malaysia. Really impressive. They're able to grab both of them. Spectre, happy for it. Zeus looking really good, and Ohio is actually going mid Ohio Zeus, so they can dual lane the Disruptor plus Sniper up top. I have never seen an aggro duel with a Sniper. I don't know if I have with a Disruptor, but it is going to be an interesting 2v2 matchup here. So they do have the Phoenix Spearbreaker dual lane. It looks like the Spearbreaker might be trying to farm this lane though, and that's just not happening. In the meantime, KOXY farming it up down bottom with the help of Shadow Shaman. He's got long shackles, so assuming as long as they go and focus the Abaddon, they're going to be fine in this lane, I think. Like, the Queen of Pain does good damage, but the Abaddon shield really only matters when it dispels a disable, for the most part. Oh, nice actual damage coming out. Bashes and Fire Spirits hitting pretty hard here and frustrating Ketchik Imba a little bit. But yeah, so the Abaddon Aphotic Shield is really potent when you dispel something with it. Otherwise, it's just a little bit of damage absorbed, a little bit of damage returned, and it's okay in that regard, but it's not amazing. So what essentially with what Mushi can do with the shackles, with the Hex, is just focus on 2D. He can't dispel himself, and he can be an easy focus target. Abaddon's early armor is only 1. So he is actually the prime target here. Like, if they go on the Queen of Pain, they try to force the Queen of Pain. Oh, Johnny, this is really bad for the Disruptor. Caught out, slowed down by the Ichthys and the Fire Spirits. And although they can glimpse back one, the other will stay in place. So the last Fire Spirit is used, but the homing missiles, the heat-seeking missiles, will find out that Raptor, cold-blooded as he may be, while they pincer in onto Wedding Crash here, all by himself. Blink on cooldown. Can't even buy boots before he goes down. So it is going to be first blood against the Disruptor. Returned down bottom, killing off the Queen of Pain. I got to wonder where Abaddon was. Did he get a rune? It looks... Yeah, he got a bounty rune. So essentially, the miscommunication. Oh, charge in, top, catch a Gemba. Is actually going to just try to turn this. Headshot shrapnel now. It's going to be a Spirit Breaker in a terrible position. They're not going to be able to glimpse him, but they're still going to get some good right clicks in. It doesn't look like it's enough. They need the Zeus, and Ohio's just too far away. Down bottom, more dueling out. But yeah, essentially, the dual lane bottom miscommunicated. Queen of Pain, she acted like she had support, but what it was Abaddon moving in towards the bounty rune on the bottom, and as he was out away from the lane, and Radiant know this thanks to his Observer Ward, they just go ahead and go on the Queen of Pain, and she blinks into the trees instead of back towards her tower. So, not really a kill that should happen, but it did, and that is going to even us up 1 for 1 for now. So let's look over at last hits. We've got 17 last hits thanks to the 2 points in Arc Lightning here for Ohio. Really easy for him to find farm in this lane. But actually up top, they're going to try to bring down Spirit Breaker. He's getting glimpse back. Yeah, that's going to be a kill now. Pretty much it's just all about getting that glimpse range, and they get it here. I'm kind of surprised Phoenix even wastes that cooldown in HP going for the Icarus dive. But anyways, so in the mid lane, Zeus is racking up the last hit Storm. 22 and then 18-2 is going to be the CS of the Tinker in return. So Chains isn't doing bad. He's not getting like completely stomped on this lane, but he's not able to prevent Ohio from getting it just because Arc Lightning is really good here. But 15-3 is your Spectre, 13-3 is the Sniper, and he's actually going to get charged on here. So Glimpse is on cooldown. This is a kind of a small timing window that can do some real good damage. Icarus dive hits on both. Great movement from Godot. And actually Johnny should be going down. One more Fire Spit's one needed, but oh, hasted Zeus comes in and says, no, you will not damage overtime, my friends. There's a nice charge through, trying to avoid the hasted Zeus, but in the end it seems like it's going to be fruitless, and yeah, they're gonna go their separate ways. In the meantime, Chains was kind of trying to gank, but if you look at his skill build, it's not really a ganking build. He's got 3 in March, 1 in the other nukes. Like, you don't really gank with that kind of setup, so I don't really feel that Chains had much opportunity, but it's the thought that counts. Abaddon, full mana, but low HP. I'm not sure. I mean, he'll be able to put out 2 more Aphotic Shields, but it looks like he's just going to go back to base anyway. So he just popped a Clarity, and now he's out of HP. Unless he gets Tranquils, or gets Fairy to Salve, he's in a rough spot in this lane. Meantime, Chains, man, he's got a Soul Ring and Bottle, so he's going to be able to spam things out quite a bit. Same thing for Zeus. It's just going to be spells flying out all over the place here. And yeah, Abaddon the Clarity was wasted. He doesn't really get to do much more. Wedding Crasher is essentially an off-lane Queen of Pain with a little bit of help. And it's just not a lane that contests directly the Shadow Shaman Spectre. 2-1-2 is your skill build on KYXY. It's a little bit weird. I mean, going for 2 points in Dispersion this early on. Usually you just get the 1 value point in it. But it looks like he wants to tank up a little bit against that early Sonic Wave burst combo. I mean, it is pure damage coming in. Actually, it might help him here. KYXY going to take a lot of damage. Magic Stick turns it with the Haunt. There's the Thunder God's Wrath, and suddenly Godot's dead, and Wedding crashes too. Okay, well, that works. That really does work. KYXY survives through all of this. I'm not sure you can attribute it to 4% mitigation, but with 28 HP, it's pretty much, yeah. That second point of Dispersion actually, I think, saved him. Well, I'd love to run the numbers on that later, but for now, we've got more action and another pause. I lag. Yeah, if he was full health and he uses Magic Stick, then yeah, that's definitely 4%. So I was just questioning this, and I think it saved his life. There you go. Ah, fun times. Fun times. Dispersion is a very good passive. It's just, again, it scales when you really get health. When you get your first HP item, that's when you're like, yeah, now I want max Dispersion. But I've seen very passive builds where, like, when Chinese Dota was what the stereotypical passive farming 4 Protect 1. That was a couple years ago, but it was a very, very slow metagame where you just played as slow as possible. You got your carry as farmed as possible, and the enemy's team's job was just to kill your carry. When people rushed Vanguard on Anti-Mage and Spectre because they were taking too much damage early on, This is the metagame I'm talking about, where you actually went for like a 1-1-4 build. You got just tons of dispersion, and you only use your dagger to escape because you were never fighting. But things have changed a lot, and Spectre really does get involved in the fight a lot sooner these days. But this dispersion is still a very defensive stance from a Mercurial these days. So I actually heard an assassinate. Don't think it's actually a kill, but it is warding off the Spearbreaker, just using mana very effectively. It means that if Spearbreaker comes in and tries to pull this wave back, he's probably going to die. So he doesn't really get that option as much. And even Johnny here, looking for an opening. If they get like an Observer Ward back here, then they can start going for really good glimpse plays. And I think that's what Godot was just pinging out. I think he believes there's the threat of the ward there. We'll go for some Sentry Wards soon. And since since there was no ward placed there by Johnny, that actually is some pretty good mind games. So finally the lanes start to make sense a little bit for CSW. They're going to charge in, they're going to get the Aphotic Shield onto Spiritbreaker and turn this as you might try. Oh, the glimpse back from the Phoenix, but Sniper's still going to go down. So great movement here, going to be able to bring down the Sniper, bring down the Disruptor as well. And I'm kind of surprised they didn't glimpse back the Spiritbreaker. Like, why wouldn't you, in this situation, pull him out of it? But yeah, he sticks to his targets, he brings them down, and that's some much needed gold going the way for CSW. So that's where it makes sense, is when you actually get the Abaddon shielding the Spearbreaker and charging in forward. Now we see 1-1-4 still on Tinker. Really hasn't progressed much further than what we talked about earlier. It's just the 900 gold on top as he saves for his BOTs. Curious if Zeus goes for a Blink Dagger here. It would make sense, but we'll see. Right now, Catch Gamba in a really bad spot. No Nether Strike, though. He cancels it out and actually Assassinate, bringing 3-4-3 very low. Spectre, oh, double global, just to make sure of it. Oh, my, that's actually really nice. We saw it down bottom, now we see it up top. Whenever KOXY is going to haunt, we're also going to see the Thunder God's Wrath, and that's going to make it so that there's just too much global damage. Now charging in, Spiritbreaker tries to hit KOXY, nice Ward Trap. Nether Strike connects, but KOXY does go down to the Mistcoil, so the wards do a lot of good work. Ohio rotating in with the DD rune. Abaddon without level 6. It will be a return kill of 3. So 3 for 1 for your Spectre. I would have to say that Team Malaysia are pretty happy with walking away with that one. Like, you don't want your Spectre to die under any circumstance, but if he does die, you're getting 3 kills makes it pretty much worthwhile. Nice Mass Serpent wards there, just doing good damage in the exchange, and of course a great rotation from Ohio. I understand why CSW went for that play, though. When you see those two globals down, you say, this is our chance. This is our time where they do the least damage across the map. Maybe we can make something happen. And, of course, as a Spearbreaker, you just kind of have that tendency to charge things as often as possible. Treads, Magic Stick, trying to go, but I don't think the Observer Ward scouted it. It's possible, but more importantly, it's just knowing to get back. Top lane is just abandoned at this point.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So, big thing that is going to be lacking for CSW for a little while is Urn of Shadows. Maybe the Phoenix picks it up, but either way, somebody's got to get him Urn of Shadows so they can kind of build forward momentum. The Abaddon is probably the best one to build it up, but the Spiritbreaker and the Phoenix are not uncommon wielders of the item, and it's very, very important for them to actually like build kill momentum, turn one into many with the offensive charges. But we're gonna see 2D just go in. He's got his level 6 now, so he's pretty confident, but even charging under the tower, KOXY, they break some of the trees, but he just keeps on moving through the dagger. Now looking to haunt out to the back, illusion perhaps, and it's actually just going to be a lot of heroes rotating in. Suddenly the Sonic Wave gets popped, but Queen of Pain falls immediately after thanks to the Assassinate. And now, although there's a nice charge on Mushi, he blocks it! He hexes! Oh my gosh, Mushi! Are you kidding me? Holy cow, that was amazing! Mushi just goes ahead, sees everybody charging at him, knows, oh, I'm just a Shadow Shaman with 700 HP, with 3 armor. He ward traps himself and hexes the Spearbreaker, the only one who can break through the wards there. And then suddenly he's just like in this house of safety. He just puts up his ward fortress around himself. And he says, just come at me, guys. Under the tower, under wards, it's going to not only guarantee kills back the other way, but it makes it impossible for them to actually get to him. Johnny flubs his combo a little bit. Wedding Crash could have actually taken a lot of damage there. With the Abaddon's help, he should have survived, but still, the Disruptor doesn't get anything out of it. Just goes down. But still, Mushi, what a player. War trapping himself and getting that combo off perfectly. Like, that was just gorgeous. It really was. Wow. Okay, so, yeah. We've just got a very active game on our hands compared to the first one. We see a lot more kills coming out, less passivity. And obviously this is because CSW know that they have to have something going their way. They have to build momentum, they have to build kills, and they're going to look for it here. Oh my gosh, this Queen of Pain's already dead. KOXY dispersing a lot of damage, but still taking a lot of hits. Can't Spectral Dagger out of this one, so he will go down on the western side. Magic Wand, he almost actually survives, and actually it's going to be Johnny to go down before him. So Johnny goes down, Ohio's low, but they do chase down the Spectre in the end. That lack of dagger being available really hurt him. Now Ketchikimba finds a better target. Spirit Breaker is going to be going forward with the Aphotic Shield, but Ohio's here, nuking him down, and yeah, he's gone too. Now, can just reality forward to get kills. KOXY, shield or not, is going to be able to bring down 2D. Neutral deny is the only option, and it doesn't come through in time. So, all these fights are happening without the Tinker, and that's the big issue, I think, is just essentially Chains can't get involved because he's playing the farming Tinker instead of the fighting one. And in the meantime, like, their biggest damage output is if Queen of Pain can get 2 screams off in the fight instead of 3. But you look at him, he's only got 900 HP, and Team Malaysia are perfectly exploiting that. Every time he jumps in, he gets his 2 spells off, but is dead about 1 second later. Mushi flanking with smoke, looking for an opportunity. Go dot, not a good spot for you to be in. He doesn't even know it. They're going to be able to get Hex Shackles, and unless the Abaddon is right there with the TP, no, he's going mid. So this should be a kill down bottom. Observer Ward is lacking, but 3/4, they're not actually going for the full aggressive play. I guess I mean, if you look at Radiant Vision, they don't know either. The dagger is the only thing giving them intel right now, so they don't know if the Phoenix has backup. Now going in, Johnny. Oh, poor Johnny. Getting picked off so many times this game. This is his 5th death of the game. It's really their only liability, but it's just due to being that kind of 5 position support. Can't get all that much accomplished. And can they break the charge with the lightning bolt? Oh, not even going to try for it. Yomu Kompaku just backs off. So they're just going to kind of turtle under the tower. They've got Mass Serpent Wards if Mushi can get over there, but he doesn't have a blink, of course. In the meantime, Sniper just farming up top. Lightning Bolt harassment going out the other way. This Queen of Pain just looks like a glass cannon. Oh, if only they knew. If only they knew that Mushi was right here. That would be just such an easy pick off, and they could probably push the tower with a dead Shadow Shaman. But they're completely unaware of the flank coming in from the Rasta. And if Sniper comes in and fights under tower, now this is perfect. Because essentially the Rasta can come in on the backline, just pop all his spells, and then the Sniper can clean it up. So Mushi will probably die here, but look at it. He's just setting it up for the Sniper perfectly. They'll dive down bottom, but the fight is so split. Ohio goes down quickly, but buys back for the Thunder God's Wrath. Ketchikimba cornered all by himself, but now the Thunder God's Wrath will allow him to turn it. Icarus dive comes through, so Ketchikimba's on the run. But in the meantime, everybody else is dead on CSW. Like, the fight gets split into 2. The Queen of Pain and the Abaddon are stuck over here in the Kinetic Static, in the Mass Serpent Wards, all that nonsense. Of course, like I mentioned, Tinker can't get involved, and the Spirit Breaker and the Phoenix are over on the front line trying to deal with the Sniper. And although they get the full Supernova off, and that's great, they only kill the Zeus, he buys back, and they turn it around. It was just perfect from Mushi to be able to initiate like that from the flank. Like, usually look at that as a suicidal play, but it's a suicidal play that distracts them for a very long time. So, die as he may here, it is actually, like, brilliant that they're able to take that fight like that. And every time they take a favorable exchange, it's just showing more and more what this team is capable of moving into the mid to late game. Because, of course, they have that draft advantage. They could play this as passively as could be, lose all their tier 1 towers, only hide under tier 2s, and slowly farm themselves up into this game. But that's not what they're doing. They're taking it by the reins. They're taking these heroes that carry hard and do less comparatively in the early game, but still through better execution, positioning, and just team dynamics, they're making it happen. They're just blowing it apart. So really, really good movement there. And yeah, now looking for the next move. I mean, we've got our charge coming in towards mid, perhaps. Looking for that Sniper, but they're not finding it yet. And Yeah, now the Thunder God's Wrath scouts it all out. Quick Hex onto Abaddon. He does have his ultimate, so they can't focus him. Glimpsing back on the Spirit Breaker. He connects with another strike before he makes his retreat. Now it's going to be the Egg going down quickly, but they actually bring down the Sniper. This could be the first really good fight for CSW. No kills the other way. Pop in a couple of ultis, but they do clean house. Bring down the Sniper, bringing down the Disruptor, building momentum. In the meantime, KOXY TPing away. Tinker can't stop it, and it is going to be a kill. And we do have some interesting co-commentary from my son there. He's 6 months old, and he is really just into this game. But, yeah, we do see that the oh, nice lightning bolt! Are you kidding me? Ohio finding it, almost gets the kill. Wedding Crash gets away, but canceling an urn charge. The Queen of Pain is going to limp back to base. He's going to barely survive. Oh, boy. Oh boy, I don't even know what Vision gave them the intel about that invis, but that's game sense. That is really good understanding of where the Queen of Pain is going to be positioned. Looking for a solo kill pickoff with the Sonic Wave? Yeah, they look for right down the mid lane and they find her. Sniper denies the tower up top. Less gold going the way of CSW, but they're still not out of this game yet. The net worth disadvantage was at 5k for CSW. Now it's closer to 0. The problem is they want to be 5k ahead. They want to be the ones that are pulling forward at this point, because as far as carry potential, they're pretty weak. I mean, they put a safe lane Spirit Breaker to farm. He's got their last hits are for the Tinker, the Queen of Pain, and the Spirit Breaker. And only among those can I say the Tinker is a really hard carry. Like, Queen of Pain's great in the late game. Spirit Breaker is not bad. But the Tinker is the only one that can do something, so we're expecting some big things around him. Stuns coming through, Glimpse as well, catching in the kinetic static, but there is a nice combo with that Nether Strike. Oh boy, bringing him down low. The Supernova's forced out early, and the Spirit Breaker's just dead. They do get the kill on to the Shadow Shaman thanks to the homing heat-seeking missiles, and I think it breaks down from there. I don't really see like either side kind of fording the river in this case. I'm waiting for the baby rages in chat. But yeah. So we've got Tinker fulfilling up his Bloodstone. Gonna have that very soon. 1,500 gold? No, just 500. Don't overestimate that. But yeah, so essentially we have the Tinker building up Bloodstone, Blink, BOTs, and then he has to do something. Like, if the Tinker doesn't do something at that point, then I can't find enough value in the pick. Like, yes, he could go dig up 5 Ethereal Blade Hyper late game, and there's the baby rage. Yeah, oh yeah. Shout out to my son, he's awesome. A little noisy sometimes, though. Anyways, so we've got that Bloodstone coming out of the Tinker, and that Chains is going to have to just tear through some stuff with it. I mean, he's got the null tallies to build up his Dagon a little bit faster, but bottom line is, if we're not seeing some big kills come out from the Tinker soon, I mean, he's 4-0-3, he's gotten a couple lucky heat-seeking missiles. I think he even got first blood off of it, but now we're looking at a Mask of Madness. Oh, it does dispel in time. Even still, damage coming in Spirit Breaker, he gets healed up ×2 by 2D. This is keeping him alive, but the Lightning Bolt connects. As much as the Abaddon could do with this 4-4-1 build, it's just not enough. And now actually getting a Hex onto 2D. Oh boy, he can't TP away from this one. He's going to be going down. And without your Abaddon, your entire ability to control the map is gone. Now they're TPing away. Now they're running from the haunt. And yeah, it should be the tier 1 mid. Probably taking a lot of damage. Unless Chains is here. Obviously, he's got that max marching machine, so he's spamming it out. Counter pushing and positioning really well too. Like, that blink to the Radiant side was actually really smart. Because they know that Team Malaysia is coming in from the river here. They're looking to go to the tier 1 tower. So even though Dire doesn't have vision here whatsoever, to change his nose, okay, the safest place is actually on this side of the map. And he connects with some good damage. They still are going to lose the tower here, but they will get a return kill onto the Shadow Shaman, onto the Disruptor. Just too much pinprick harassment damage, and they clean it up. Very nice. Very nice from the Tinker. Chains showing what he can do. Just a marvelous Tinker player through and through, but Let's look for the next opening here. BKB coming in for the Queen of Pain. Still looking for the big Tinker plays. I mean, that was a nice execution, nice movement, nice positioning from Chains, but in the end, I'm looking to see him involved in the fights, and it looks like that's going to take a little while. We got the Bloodstone recipe now, building up his mana pool, his mana regeneration, and oftentimes when I see a Tinker pick up a Bloodstone, I still see him pick up the Soul Ring, just because it's so good on the hero, but I'm not sure if he has the item slots for it. Like, I guess he has one slot left, right? Yeah, the branch can turn into a Soul Ring, and then the Null can turn into a Dagon 5. Still no blink on Mushi. He's actually going to be going for a Yule's Scepter here. So, I guess a way to respond to the Phoenix Egg is just a Supernova when it's about to stun. Or when the Supernova is about to stun, go for the Self Yules. That's not bad. It's also a way to throw the Queen of Pain up when she's not in BKB. The best part about Yules, though, I think this game, is that you're able to Yules the Abaddon when he gets into his borrowed time. So you trigger the borrowed time by dropping him below 400 HP, and then you immediately Yules him, and you cut that time in half so that you don't accidentally put any more damage into him. Now he's going to get caught under the tower, a little awkward, but yeah. So that's my favorite way to Yules this game, is just to take the borrowed time out of the equation, no more incidental AoE damage hitting the Abaddon to heal him up, and then you just focus him down when that borrowed time ends. The other final way would be, of course, to cancel another way to cancel the BOTs or the charge from Tinker and the Spearbreaker, respectively. A lot of pinging, some charging, but it is scouted out by the Observer Ward. There's no way that Yomu Kalmbako can keep on committing to it, even though their game plan is to essentially BOT the Tinker to this creep wave, blink him forward when the Spearbreaker charge connects here, and then just tear somebody apart with the nukes. But although that would build up Bloodstone charges nicely, they don't find the opening thanks to some good Radiant Vision. And yeah, let's just talk about Vision real quick, since the fights aren't breaking out just yet. We've got an Observer Ward here for another minute. That was what pretty much just saved them from that Tinker Spearbreaker play. They've had this one controlling the Ancients as well as the Roche area pretty effectively for a while, and they actually have this mid one relatively recently placed. 3 minutes ago they placed this mid ward, and it shows you anytime he's charging down the mid lane from the fountain. I can't draw straight lines, but you get the idea. So, with that idea, they see it, they respond to it, that's great. Otherwise, it's just anybody that moves in towards from the tier 2 mid, which is just great intel overall. Item progression. Radiant's going to be coming through for the Spectre in just 900 gold. Great timing, actually, considering she went for Drum, Phase, Wand, all these items. And she still is able to actually find that item timing for the Radiance. That's really good. Beyond that, we've got S and Y for the Sniper, along with his Mask of Madness. Just worried about his positioning. He has tons of movement speed here. And I actually feel that one thing is... that Kijigemba should be doing is holding on to a couple of Shrapnels. Shrapnel's really good against Tinker as far as scouting out in the trees. Like right now, if they had Shrapnel, they would have a good general idea of where he is, and they would be able to punish him for it. So he will scout it now, but he's already gone. If Mushi could get that Hex, that's different, but the way I see it, always hold one charge of Shrapnel against a Tinker if you can, and don't just use it on cooldown like he's been. Gonna be Yules coming in from Ohio. He's just trying to survive, get the Hand of Midas out, but he is taking some hits, some good suppression fire from Chains. And he's got a lot of mana to play around with, as you can see. And he did buy another Soul Ring for that last item slot. And the tower goes down. So, I mean, if they're focused up top with the heroes that they are, and we do see the Tinker really getting involved, there's some real potential. But now charging in, Sniper in a bad spot here. He may be quick, but Mushi's just a little far away. And actually, it's just going to be a 1v1 now. Bash down. No, he gets Yules. Great POT from Ohio. He saves the Sniper's life. Now he just turns it around here. Nether Strike. No, he can't actually bring him down with the charge. Oh, Ketchikimba still alive. Mushi with another sacrificial play. Now 2D's here with the borrowed time exhausted, trying to just go forward so that they can go with Wedding Crasher here. Ohio getting nuked down. Yules just came up, but it's too late. KXY will TP away, but although I really like the attempt to save the Sniper's life as long as possible, in the end, it actually does not pan out for them. They just got strung out a little bit too much, And CSW, they were ready for a full 5-man fight. So they go in, they commit everything. They bring down the Shadow Shaman very early on. And yeah, CSW actually take a really good fight again. So golden experience going their way, and wow, that was actually huge. I mean, it started off with just a really good charge that Mushi wasn't in the position to cancel because he was over here and the charge was coming through the lane. So that just started off right on the right foot. But in general, I thought that Ohio might have been able to turn around with the Yules. In the end, the sniper was just too low of HP to save, and Shadow Shaman had his hands full with what was happening on the eastern flank. Next item is going to be Yules and Radiance, already up for the Spectre. Beautiful. Mechanism up for the Phoenix. Didn't go for that Hand of Midas, so although the team fights will be a little bit stronger and they'll be able to push through a little bit more readily, it does mean that his level 16 is taking a long time. But overall, I think this was the right call from Godot, because in the end, he is kind of a supportive Phoenix. He's only got 45 last hits. They're in a game where tempo is very important. They need to start taking more map control, start pushing some more tier 2s. So going for that instead of Midas is actually going to be helping them really execute more aggressively. And so far his supernova levels haven't really mattered too much, because I don't think I've seen the egg pop. I think every single time it actually goes to its full duration and the Phoenix is reborn. But beyond that, the Dagon, is that a Yules? What? I mean, I guess it's good against Disruptor. What? I just have to pause for a second, guys, and wonder, why would you give all this farm, 14,000 net worth, to a Tinker, give him the ability to spam spells with Bloodstone and Soul Ring and Bottle, just for him to buy a Yules? Like, you can Yules a lot in a fight, sure, you can self-Yules and get out of a lot of pesky stuff, but end of the day, where's your damage? Well, we'll see. Right now, Chain's getting nuked down. He's gone. And no Yules for you. Back of the line. Now Abaddon loses the battle. He loses the bar time, but still should be fine. We actually see a BKB popped out from Wedding Crash, so negates an ultimate there, but he doesn't get anything with a Sonic Wave either. He just blinks awkwardly into the trees. I really don't know about this. I'll be optimistic and say this guy knows Tinker really well. He knows what he needs to do in this game, and he has a game plan for this Yules. But I'm just worried that it's just going to be too ineffectual for the fact that he's been farming for 30 minutes, and that's what he churns out. So he's got to be just Yulesing freaking everything, breaking shackles channels on the Shadow Shaman, catching people out, keeping allies alive. Like, he just needs to do so much. Speaking of keeping allies alive, we're going to see a lot of Yules come out and a couple heroes die. 2D does get his borrowed time in time, and they don't have... Oh, they do have the Lightning Bolt to break the TP away. So now he's going to be headshot down, tries to get healed up, and it looks like it's enough, but on the back line, it's a Bloodstone usage. And a ping, ping, ping! That was a mistake! That was a huge mistake! Oh, Tinker uses his own Bloodstone for no reason. I'm sure he was near full HP. And they go for easy Roche, because they can't be marched in the pit. So I'm going to go ahead, check it out. It is Tinker that was the target. And he had 1,500 HP. And then he hits himself for that. Oh my gosh, what a misclick. Chains, man. That is just... Oh, that is such a game-losing play. He'll be back up in 15 seconds, but Orochi will go the way of catching Imba, and suddenly the sniper can no longer be the target priority. Although you want to bring this guy down in the fights because he's just sitting there as a glass cannon on the back line, he's got an Aegis now. If you focus him and you ignore everybody else, then you're just going to be fighting 5v5 and you'll have exhausted all your spells. Like, you have to change your target priority against that Aegis, and this is going to allow Malaysia to take the map back. Oh, that suicide. That ping, ping, ping. Godot's kind of pissed about that, I think, but it does happen. Aghanim Scepter up on the Queen of Pain. Gonna see what he can do with that level 16. 40-second cooldown. I mean, think about the counter push here. You've got your Sonic Wave on a 40-second cooldown. You've got your Spam March the Machine. Like, you're in a good spot, I actually have to say, as far as turtling this game out. But the question is, do you really want to extend the game further than you already have? And I'm not sure that answer is yes, because you're up against a Spectre who's getting more farm. She's just begun to farm. Like, this is not even my final form. Go and Yasha Radiance. That's your farming tools. That's your bread and butter to get to the real items. Manta, Heart. Obviously, we'll be seeing Refresher Orb as like a super late game pickup. It's just, I don't know. Sniper, Spectre, they're good in the late game. And up against this lineup, it seems like they're unstoppable. So, unless we see something incredible. Oh, Chains. You can't Yules yourself here. It won't break the Glimpse. You just get Yules back anyways, or Glimpse back anyways, and he'll just go down. So, yeah, this is just not looking good. And they can just focus down the Supernova. I don't know what this egg is. Like, they are just on tilt at this point. They are completely in desperation. The Tinkers not accomplished what their goals were. Coming in, Queen of Pain seems to be doing some work. Ohio will take some hits. But now it's going to be KOXY just banding up against Wedding Crasher. He'll actually be able to blink away, but in pursuit is that Spectre. 2 hits is all it takes, and KOXY gets a freebie. So the Supernova was ambitious. It is easy for them to focus down. The Tinker getting picked off is very unfortunate. And then the Queen of Pain gets chased down and uses her BKB to not even escape. Oh boy. This has gone from bad to worse. We see over 4,000 net worth in favor of Malaysia. We see over 7,500 experience going their way. And we see no way out for Can't Say Whips. I mean, honestly, like, they're going to go for a Pipe of Insight on the Abaddon. And I like that against the Radiance, against the Thunder God's Wrath. But even if we had it right now, I'd still consider their position very difficult to fight in. The fact that he has to, as a support with 20 last hits, farm for God knows how long to finish that item, I'm very concerned. But we'll see Kachagimba pushing down on the tier 1 that still remains. Just a thorn in the side of Team Malaysia. They haven't pushed this just yet, but CSW looking for a play. Let's see what Chains can do. I mean, you get a lot of mana regen from that Yules. He'll spam just all the more, but you'd love to just have, 8+ Bloodstone charges for that instead of the 1. They're trying. They're trying to pull it back together. Just gotta rely a little bit on power of friendship, believe a little bit, and make some major pickoffs. I think Team Malaysia have to find themselves in a very awkward position if they start throwing lives away. Manta style coming out for the Spectre. I don't know what the Sniper goes for here, actually. I mean, I would have to say it's just BKB, but I did mention there are some counters to that. Nether Strike, Supernova, Sonic Wave, all pretty decent against BKB. So, 2D actually in a weird spot, gonna get hit by a headshot a couple times. Now going in, Wedding Crasher is the one that gets caught out, doesn't cast a single spell before he goes down, and now they're looking to assassinate Chains. He gets glimpsed back, self-fuel is available, he uses it at the last second, but it will not save his life. 2D now, out without the borrowed time, being chased down by KXY. No defusal, but he got a killing spree somewhere else. He actually killed the Spirit Breaker back up top to Illusions? He died to Illusions! Whoa! The Manta style killed him. What just happened to Spirit Breaker? I mean, I know Haunt does a lot of damage. This Vector has farmed, but Spirit Breaker should survive, shouldn't he? Oh my. It's the Zeus ulti, man. The Zeus Aghanim's ulti, plus the Haunt, plus the Manta style, actually kills off the Spirit Breaker across the map. That is insane. Zeus, Spectre, pretty good combo. Now we see damage, just a lightning bolt and assassinate, and suddenly this Phoenix has 60 HP and the dagger, the radiance, the right click. He has to supernova the Spectre alone, and he just walks away. He's like, yep, that's your ultimate, that's your Rax. And CSW backed into a corner now. This is a midnight hour for them. This is elimination in this best of 3. Malaysia already up 1-0, and it only takes 2 losses to go out. They don't want to go out into this good night with a whisper, but with a bang. So we'll see. Maybe them just go for a 5-man play once they get Spirit Breaker's BKB. Assuming they get Spirit Breaker's BKB. Jeez, this game is hard. Game is hard, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Swiper with a double damage. Swiper, no swiping that rune, and yeah. He does go for the Scotty, so no need for the BKB since there are 3 ultimates that go through it to an extent. So he just goes ahead, picks up the Scotty, and gets that survivability a unique way. And that means whenever he connects with a right click, he has a guaranteed Scotty, a chance for a headshot, and a chance for a Sanj main proc. Like, oh, it's just going to be so frustrating to try to disengage from this sniper, as if it's not hard enough. But all hope is not lost. We'll see them try to just go for a really good play together as a team. Let's check out what Chains has got going on. 0 Bloodstone charges. BOT is available, but not finding a safe place to farm. He's just sitting here looking at the minimap, thinking, where am I going to survive? Bottom lane, the top lane looked like it was where it was going to be. Now he's just looking to play reactively. Like, he's not even out across the map. He's just saying, okay, wherever my teammates need me to be, that's where I'll go. And actually, Spirit Breaker goes there instead. So we actually see coming in Mushi catching in by that double damager and still on the sniper. Oh, but he bottled it up, and he's going to be able to just destroy his opponents. Assassinate will come on through and bring down Godot, and Chains is pretty much all alone against KOXY. Abaddon dies over on the linebacker front line, and triple kill for the double damage sniper. Game is hard. Game is just too hard. I mean, even if they had 2,000 extra net worth apiece, 5,000 net worth extra apiece, I don't know if CSW could bring this back, but at this current state of the game, the Zeus picking up his Aghanim's refresher. Oh, it's done, guys. It is done. I have to call it at this point. I don't want to call it early, but you have a level 22 Spectre with a heart about to come out. She's going to go for her refresher next. You've got your sniper with 18,000 net worth. 18,000 net worth Midas Zeus with Aghanim's refresher. And how many BKBs and pipes do we have? 1 BKB, 1 hood. And Ring of Health, and they have it on now. Not so much. Whatever. It's just, it is too much. They don't have a hope or a prayer to survive all of that damage coming in from Team Malaysia. The Haunt, the global damage is going to be nearly killing them in the fountain. But they'll stick it out. Again, elimination on the line. They have to do it, and there will still be some CSW believers. They will dream. I'm skeptical, but yeah. At least I think Tinker will be able to farm up another item. I think he can drop maybe his bottle or something, get the Dagon up, see what he can do, or optimistically he can look for a Scythe of Vice. That probably is the most valuable pickup, but I don't know if it's a really big one. Got Chigemba gonna get charged on. This might be our last fight of the game here. Going for the BKB. Spirit Breaker charges in. Nice Sonic Wave, but he's just got so much HP. The Sanj and Yasha Scotty is going to keep him alive for quite a long time, but he will go down in the end. Mushi looks to be finished off as well. Ohio, the only one to slip out of there. Inspector pops the Haunt. Does she really want to go in? KOXY 1v5? Okay, let's see it. Dispersion doing damage. Manta doing work. Just right-clicking things down and finding even some Desolate hits onto the Spirit Breaker. Gonna get the dagger. Gonna pursue. The Empowering Haste is gone. He has no movement speed, and it's going to be a double kill unstoppable streak for KOXY. Now looking for 2D. No borrowed time. He's absolutely dead to right, looking for the Suicide, and he will not get it just yet. I think he can do it now. Suicide, 2D. Suicide. Use the Miscoil. It's too late. It's a triple kill. KOXY cleans it up. Jumps in 1v4. Gets a triple. And Ohio slipped away as well. Just barely before the Supernova stunned him out. So, in the end, a really difficult, bad fight for Team Malaysia. It looked like that was actually going to be CSW getting some real comeback golden experience, but the hard carry has arrived. KOXY is online, and there's just no answer to him. There really isn't. So, we'll see the movement from CSW. The Sonic Wave, of course, available when the Queen of Pain responds, but they'll have to do some real work to deal with this Dispersion. Dispersion is pure damage. The Radiance is magical, so Godot's Pipe will help. But how much is the question. And KOXY is like, when do I get to start fountain diving? I've got a heart, I've got Dispersion. Let's reflect some deeps. But looks like they're just going to take the tier 3 and give it the walk away. And from here, they'll farm a little bit more. Once they look for Roshan, which is actually spawning right about now, that's when they're going to go ahead and look to end the game. Rosh is up. CSW's last stand has to be around the pit. But we'll see if they get that opening. Aghanim Scepter, level 3, Mass Serpent Wards from Mushi. One of the strengths of the Shadow Charm is not just his key disables and decent damage with the Ether Shock, it's actually what he can do in the late game with the Mass Serpent Wards. Like, you can rat with the Mass Serpent Wards, you can take objectives like Roche with the Mass Serpent Wards, actually a very powerful skill that still keeps this hero relevant, even in a metagame that seems so fixed. Immortality comes out for the sniper. It looks like somebody dropped their power treads, doesn't even care. But yeah, I guess the sniper had power treads, and he's like, yeah, I got BOTs now. I'm good. So the core hero will pick that up and sell it later. But for now, we've got Cheese on... Oh, wait, it's not Cheese Roche even. We haven't only seen 2 Roshans. So, Wedding Crashers popping the BKB, losing the pipe quickly. Spirit Breaker going in, but the self-fuels keeping them up. Will they focus the Supernova? Here we go. Damage coming into Supernova, but only the Spectre's right-clicking it, so the Phoenix is actually going to pop his egg. KOXY still dispersing, still doing work. Where's the Haunt when you need it? We see the Thunder God's Wrath come out. KOXY holding for buyback Haunt. And 343 is not going to be... He's going to be the Sunray up. No, KOXY pursues to death. He will die, but look at this. Buyback Haunt. He's already going to double. Now looking for a triple. And yes, he gets it. KOXY right back in the thick of things. Another Thunder God's Wrath. Unstoppable. It's Ohio and KOXY doing work. The Malaysian Dream Team back in action. And 2D, the last man to defend. Chains tries to as well, but you look how quickly that he gets... sent back to the fountain. Oh, man. This was a really tough game for CSW. This was a tough match, in fact. But Team Malaysia, they show what they can do and they can carry it out. And oh, man. KOXY just carrying like a boss. Ohio at his back. They really just put on a clinic in this game. And there's another suicide coming from Tinker. Okay, I wonder, when you rearm your Bloodstone, can you suicide at 0? I have never tried to suicide at 0, but I assume it works. So, I don't know. If you just die back and then you suicide just to give out more cosmetics to the fans. But we got 2D buying back, holding the ground. Mid-racks, bottom racks falling. And actually Abaddon killing off Shadow Shaman, because why not? Just getting a quick opportunity on Mushi, but Master Rewards, the sniper, and the good men are back and forth. They're having fun. Mushi feels a little suicidal. He's gone into a lot of team fights in a very suicidal position, so it only fits. But yep, in the end they call it out. GG's, and that's gonna be the game, boys. 2-0 in favor of Team Malaysia. A very well earned victory. And is that a Rubik facepalm? Just for chains there? I don't know. It was pretty fun, but a little cloudy on the side of CSW. They did try hard this game, but they never really got the damage out. Like, the Queen of Pain was the most damage that was up 1-0. They are looking really strong right now. They had a really nice draft, kind of in mixed composition, a grab bag of everything, and they were able to really do some good work. I mean, we got to see some Blink Dagger Tiny action. We got to see just 3 powerful heroes right-clicking away with the Battle Trance, the Night Stalker, the Troll himself, and of course the Tiny. So I really like that idea. I think that was really strong. And Kinsei Whips, they're going to ban it out very early this time, not wanting to deal with any of that nonsense. But Sniper is still in the pool. We'll see if he's as prioritized as he is in some other regions. I haven't been casting that much SEA Dota recently, so I've been seeing the picks, but I haven't seen the pick orders, so not sure if we're seeing like that many Sniper bans or anything. And like, there's a couple of metas like European and North American where if you don't ban out the Sniper, he has picked up phase 1, and that just turns into... I mean, sometimes the games are really good, and the Sniper gets involved, but the Turtle games, the Turtle games, they last so long. It's fun to theorycraft, but only to a certain point.
5 seconds.
Boom, boom, boom. Alrighty, so gonna see the Phoenix opener coming in from Kansai Whips. That'll be pretty interesting to see what they can accomplish with that. Obviously, we saw what 2D could do on an off-lane Sam King that actually took farm priority. He was actually pretty much the most farmed hero for the early stage of the game. I mean, the Storm Spirit had a really rough time. The Lycan had a really rough time. So the Phoenix here, it is going to be a pick that can do a lot of stuff in that context. Oh, they pick up the Tinker too. They pick up the Tinker too. Oh, that's going to be fun. Can't say Whips, and just in general, like Aussie Dota has had some really good Tinker play. 2D's had some great Tinker play. Like, I have some really high expectations for what this hero can do in these guys' hands. So we'll have to see. But Phoenix is going to be probably the offlane, most likely Tinker mid. It's hard to say in this metagame as it's shifted a lot, but I think, although their intentions are to get a lot of farm of the Phoenix, get an early hand of Midas on him, they might be thwarted here if the Disruptor plays the game right. Because, essentially, if you are a Disruptor with Glimpse available and you see that Icarus dive coming out, you just spam it on him, you bring him back from whence he came, and you kill him. And he has absolutely nothing to offer. In fact, he just lost a good chunk of his health. It's a 15% health cost just to cast that spell. So, Disruptor, a great counter to Phoenix, either via the Silence, which is very powerful against him, or the Glimpse and Kinetic Field. You can just make it so easy to bring that hero down on the off lane that although their intention is to dominate that position, you've got a hero with 950 attack range that is just peep-shotting your Phoenix Egg. You've got the Disruptor, which is going to make his laning experience miserable. Like, as great as the Tinker may be, with his lasers and his rockets, his blind effects, his ability to farm quickly and build up items to rearm, it's just, I feel like this Tinker has to do some amazing work. The Phoenix, although a great hero in general, is going to be countered out pretty hard. And we do see Team Malaysia is also going to be going for the Zeus here, which I'm going to be interested in. Exactly what is that expected to accomplish? Obviously, we saw the Zeus Storm duo open in the Phase 1 opener for CSW, but not only did that not work out, but, I mean, the Zeus in particular was just an offlaner that supported the Sand King. So, I feel like we're going to see the Zeus in a different light here. We might see Ketchugimba take him in mid lane. He used to play Zeus quite a bit on the mid, and that was back in Team Invasion, of course, but still. Alright, so we've got 3 picks underway for Team Malaysia. A lot of lightning on their side. Maybe Sniper picks up a Maelstrom and just makes it a lightning trinity. But the bans are pretty interesting in my mind. Banning out the Undying, banning out the Lycan. The Undying in my mind is to make it so that they don't have to commit their auto attacks to too many different things. The idea here is if you drop a Tombstone with the Supernova, then you have either the zombies building up a ton or the Phoenix Egg about to crack, and that's not something that you want to be up against, where you have to choose between those two things. Tusk is also notorious for this with his Frozen Sigil. So if you had like an Undying Phoenix Tusk lineup, and then you threw in, I don't know, the Gyrocopter's Homing Missile and Juggernaut Sealing Gourd, then you have like 5 things to attack that are all very impactful, and you're like, focus this, focus that. It's frustrating. So on a smaller scale, the Phoenix Undying duo is a little bit scary, and Sniper he wants to right-click heroes for the most part. The egg when he has to, but otherwise, definitely go for the heroes. So they get another ranged support, and that makes a lot of sense, and they are also banning out that Lycan just because of how effective he can be in certain settings. Obviously, Chains did his best that last game, but yeah, they just don't want to be pushed against. They want to have kind of the tempo in their hands. Pretty much whenever they drop Mass Serpent Wards, they want to take that tower. Cooldown to cooldown, they'll take a tower every 120 seconds, or whenever the Shadow Shaman has mana, and they won't, with the Lycan off the table, they won't really have to worry about a reactive split push. That's the idea anyways. We'll see if it works out. Anywho, Spearbreaker comes out for Can't Say Whips, and I actually am curious if CSW have been watching a little bit of CIS Dota, because Phoenix Spearbreaker is a very common offlane for a couple of Russian teams. Moscow 5 runs it pretty much every game they can draft it. It's just the Tron special there, but yeah, I mean, Spearbreaker as Phoenix essentially just makes it so that you can get bullied really hard, and any a greedy carry that you pick up is going to be punished heavily. These are tanky heroes that can trade hits very effectively, and it just makes it really difficult, especially for like a Shadow Shaman Disruptor. Like, instead of going 3v1 and just picking off Phoenix whenever he's out of position, you have a Spearbreaker in your face that's causing problems. And now we see the Abaddon come through. One of my favorite heroes in Dota 2. We definitely don't see him enough, but what in the world is an Abaddon going to do this game, is my mind. Like an Omni Knight. I could see an Omni Knight doing well, with like the ability to put Repel in the Spearbreaker or the Tinker, and allow them to do things. But an Abaddon? You're going to be able to break Shackles, you're going to be able to break Hex, you're going to be able to keep people alive against Zeus.
5 seconds remaining.
Other than that, I really don't have a damnedest clue what in the world the Abaddon's going to accomplish here. I really love Abaddon, but I feel like his strength is in a completely different lineup than what we see here. Unless they're tower diving constantly, which they very well might be. I really don't know. But yeah, I think like you constantly just put the shield on Spearbreaker and you say, hey, you, go ham. But as soon as you get Glimpse back, then I feel you lose a lot of potency there. Like picking up Disruptor or Spearbreaker into Disruptor is already pretty risky because of the Glimpse factor. But and that's why I said Repel, because like you pick up an Omni Knight, you repel that Spearbreaker, he sticks to your target. He avoids all of Zeus's damage, Shadow Shaman's damage, and he doesn't get glimpsed. but you put an Alphatic Shield on Spirit Breaker, and he might do an extra 140 damage or so, but the Spirit Breaker will be sent back, and then it won't matter. So, I mean, maybe they have the idea that if you're glimpsing back BOTing Tinker and you're glimpsing back the Spirit Breaker as well, then you have to choose between 2 targets to send back. But generally speaking, I don't think that's the right strategy. I feel like if the glimpse play is used appropriately, that these heroes are going to be countered pretty well. So, Mr. Tinker, Mr. Spirit Breaker. Final pickup coming in from Team Malaysia. It looks like they're going to be running the Spectre here. So KYXY Spectre. He's definitely played this hero quite a bit. There's a lot of potential with this just to make things work. But it does mean that their off lane is a little bit awkward. Do they go for an aggro try? Do they put a solo in a certain lane and they expect CSW to go aggressive? I don't know. It's a little weird. Yeah,